So just talking about, Asians in the current music world right now, especially in hip hop, we just talked about how there's a certain image for like rappers.
Yeah.
I know that shouldn't be it, but like when you think associate with certain images of a rapper, you don't think about Asians.
Yeah.
So what type of challenges have you faced, like with being one of the few faces in, that community?
I've actually faced a lot of racism. Like, not like so much like what we were talking about with like slurs, but more so like, well, how do we break you? What do you, it's like, maybe you should rap in Chinese, maybe you should go to China, like real slick, almost like they hit you where it hurts and then just like, oh, but it's all love, bro.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that a lot because I don't want to reveal who I was like, signed to or managed by and whatever, but it's like been experiences where people in the industry will seek me out because I'm talented, and they're like, I don't know why I quoted it as if I'm not talented, but I'm talented, and like they're like, oh, well, you're Asian, but you don't sound like what we think. And as soon as it gets close to closing that deal, they'll kind of freeze and be like, well, who are we going to market you to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always a term, right?
Oh, I hate
How
that.
are you marketed to? And I know a lot of artists, like even Far East Movement, reading their interview, Far East Movement, like a lot of these companies wanted to change their names.
Yeah.
Made, had them wear sunglasses, and really try to mask their Asianness.
Which is, and what's funny about that is like one of my managers at the time, he actually was like, yo, what if we hide your face, delete your YouTube, and just make, just like The Weeknd, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, how is my mom gonna take it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm hiding who I am, my legacy, and it's like, how would I even benefit the Asian community in hiding it, hiding who I am? And so that's a fight that I've always had. And I feel like with conversations with non-Asian, like say higher ups and whoever, or just whoever has an opinion, it's always the race thing. It's like, you have everything we want, but you're Asian. And it's like that but is a big part of like why people would not like mess with you. And I think it's something I've always fought. And I'm someone who I'm confident in what I do, and I know I can prove you wrong, but it's up to you now to stop being racist.
Got it.
And accept me for who I am.
Got it. A lot of times, like in music or in Hollywood, like at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
Right? They're there to make money.
Yeah.
And investing into an artist takes a lot of time and money and stuff like that. So, back in the days, there was no platforms where you can build up yourself. There's a lot of gatekeepers that tell you yes, no. There wasn't any social media, but now times have really changed with that now. So with 2019, with social media, SoundCloud, with YouTube, and all the stuff like that, it's allowed a lot of artists to go beyond and create something for themselves for now. Do you feel that Asians are more accepted now and are more marketable now in 2019 than, let's say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
I definitely think so. I think there's artists like Rich Brian and Higher Brothers that I can consider the mainstream.
Yeah.
We can go to somewhere randomly in America and be like, oh, I know Joji, I know Rich Brian, and it's a great feeling because it's like, okay, we reached that point where it's starting to become normalized. And we think about like K-pop, right? The biggest group in America or the world is BTS.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? And I think we're finally at that point where we can probably make some headways. Well, we will make some headways.
Yeah.
And I feel like 10 years ago we had Jin, and then who else was big on his level, right? Well, Far East Movement. And they were like the main people that we kind of like looked to. And now we have so much variety. We have people like China Mac, who's like big,
China Mac, Stupid Young, and all these guys making headways.
And it's like a variety. And I feel like what will be cool is like if all of us can coexist, and you know what I'm saying, it's like there's the gangster raps, right? Like there's like the China Mac and Stupid Young, but then there's like people like me and Chow Mein, then there's people like Rich Brian and Higher Brothers. We should all be able to kind of like have this like identity, like we're all Asian, we can all like grow together and rise together.
So I know a lot of your friends are you hang out with a lot of Mexicans, Hispanics, blacks and stuff like that. Like, do they try to impose a certain type of music style on you? It's like, oh, this sounds better for you, or why don't you use some like Mandarin in there or something like that?
Dude, I feel like my real friends won't, because we've got to a point where like they understand my struggle. But if you're like somebody new coming into my circle, they'll kind of say it, and then I'll kind of educate them. I'm like, well, what if like you were like African, right? And then some random person tells you to spit something in Ghanaian or Nigerian, their language.
Yeah, their language.
And they're like, man, that's fucked up. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, now you get it, right?
Now you get it. What if somebody looked at you and said, even though you're African American, and told you, hey, I think you're dope, but you should do some music in Zimbabwe. They'll really mess with you there. And they're like, man, why would you do that? I'm like, yeah, why would you ask me that? And it's kind of like you have to show them like you know, how like on if you were to put it in my
you
shoes.
put it into their perspective, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about, and it circles back into the whole mindset that Asians are still foreign here.
Perpetual foreigners.
We're still foreigners, you know. I mean, the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Filipinos have been here for over 100 years, you know, many generations. But because there's still an influx of new migrants and refugees here from Asia, that we're still looked upon as foreigners and not a part of the American fabric. We're still a very fringe group. But let's say somebody that comes from the African American community or the Black community, you know, they've been here for years longer. But there's no association with like Africa. So if he's like, hey, you speak the African language, like what the fuck? It just doesn't make any sense. You know, that puts into a lot of perspective. But you know, thanks for sharing your topic on that. And I know that now, you know, as more artists are pushing the barriers, doing what you're doing, and all these amazing talented artists are creating their own brands, and now with technology and with platforms, you're able to go out there. Nobody's gonna tell you no, because you can just create your own song, put it on SoundCloud, put it on YouTube, and build your own community. So, you know, for those of you guys out there that, you know, is looking to build a brand or notoriety for yourself, you know, you can do it now. Now is the most absolute time. Maybe you can share a little bit tidbits on how you broke out of the scene. Like, what did you do that, you know, maybe you tell some of our fans here that, you know, helping them out.
When I first started, I was pretty much trying to find like the right management. So I would always hop from management to management, and I felt like I did more by myself. So once I left that situation, like, and I just pretty much became a one-man army, that's when I started building my fan base. I learned how to be personable. I learned how to engage with fans. I learned how to, you know, make the music I want to, because I'm like, look, if I feel like it works, it's probably going to work because I have a good ear for what's out. And so I feel like it's really just being able to learn how to do business and really how to become your own brand. Branding is so big nowadays, you know?
So I understand that as an artist, a lot of times you focus on your craft, right? Which should be it. But nowadays, is you're not only an artist, you're also your own manager. You're also your own PR. You're also your own branding. So with all, is there any specific tools that you use that really, like, what was the thing that helped got your name and broke you out?
Well, I first started doing like remixes on YouTube and stuff, kind of like a lot of Asian kids do, right? And then I started to branch out on Facebook, because I know Facebook is kind of maybe like not as popular as before, but I kind of learned how to maneuver it. It's like I can do so much with it. I can post like funny stuff, personal stuff about myself. I can post videos. So I kind of just utilized that and built my Instagram following through that. And I just kind of made like this like blueprint of, okay, this is who I'm gonna be, right? And you're gonna learn about me through my social media, and then I'll you know, and then I get real personal in shows, and I'll do meet and greets, and I start doing interviews like this. And people are like, okay, this is who he's about. You can't just box him in. You learn the whole picture, you know?
So there's more story where fans can seek you out and learn more about you as a person than just as an artist, but as a human also too, right? So there's a human aspect to it. That's so dope, you know? I mean, thinking about it now, like even Asians Never Die, like, you know, this platform was completely built off of Facebook, on Instagram, now also on YouTube, where, like, you know, there was no capital, there was no investors, there wasn't any of that stuff. It's just you creating and posting content and continue to build your fan base and your community, and, you know, people and audiences that will resonate with it will automatically gravitate towards you, and then you build your own community. And now we have our own little, you know, Asian invasion community. It's been so dope, and you know, it's cool to see a lot of artists like yourself now come up more, because back in the days there was very few, you know, from Asian raps, but now with YouTube and everything like that, we're able to see a lot more talented artists. So that's a very dope story, you know. But one thing I want to get into next was talking about more of, you know, your family. You know, how did your parents react to you wanting to sing and pursue the arts, and how did they feel about it now?
When I first broke it to my parents, I was like 13. I was like
13. Yo, like, I want to be a rapper, mom. Yo, Tupac. Hey, that life.
What's funny is like it was the dumbest thing I said. I sat my parents down and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go to college. I'm just gonna be a rapper. And my like, and it was so stupid. But like, my parents were really angry with me, and they're like, you know, why would you just throw away your life for something so like volatile? You know, you don't have any control of it. And they kind of broke it down. It's like, who are you gonna look to? Like, there's no Eminem of Asians. There's no Tupac. Who's gonna be like the blueprint for you? And I was just so like in love with the art that I didn't think about it like that, because I'm just like a pure love for hip hop. It's not like some kids nowadays who just want to do it for clout and money. I was just like, I'm so in love with like the craft of it. I would be the kid digging in the crates trying to find like a Big Daddy Kane, Rakim album and studying these guys.
Wow.
I'm like, I want to be from this cloth. And it was hard for me because they didn't support me. But when I went to Atlanta and I started showing like them how I maneuvered and stuff and how people was like seeking me out, that's when they started supporting me. Because I'm still in college. I'm like, I'm gonna get a bachelor's degree regardless.
Got it.
But I'm still gonna pursue this on the side. And they started seeing the progression. Like the people that I told you that sought me out, they knew who they were. So it's like, okay, maybe he has something.
Did you finish up school?
Yeah, I got a degree.
You got a degree and everything at that. Like, did you go to corporate life afterwards?
I did.
You got a corporate life?
So
are you doing this? Are you doing music full time now?
Right now I am. Yeah,
That's
but before
awesome.
I worked at Amazon in Seattle.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, hey, shout out to Amazon.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because it resonates with me a lot too. Just using my own personal story because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And there was, I went to college when Facebook was barely starting up. And there wasn't anything. So I got my degree. I went to whole corporate life. I worked 12 years in corporate life. And I did things to support my parents because that's what was important to me, was finding a good job, making sure it was stable and secure, because a lot of times when our parents come over here, they're just surviving and they're looking for stability, and they focus on us as kids to provide that stability and security for them. So I did the whole route, but then I wanted to pursue other things, later on, and because I already proved myself to them.
Exactly, that's the big thing.
And I already proved myself. I think that's the thing, is like, you have to build it on the side, right? Do it and build it on the side. Don't say shit to anybody. Just keep it on a down low. Make something yourself. Build something that is tangible that they can see. And once you have a success and a little proof, then you can like, hey, this is what I've been working on. And I think there's a lot more acceptance that come from there, right?
Exactly, because it's not just like a little dream anymore. It's like, I'm making it into a profession. That's a big thing, No,
that's I think anybody that is if you're struggling and there's a lot of things that you want to do, especially in the arts world or creative field and stuff like that. I understand that our parents are concerned. They're not hating on it. They're just concerned for your future because
stability is the Asian way of living.
They're looking for stability because as being an immigrant and refugee, you didn't have that stability. They just want their kids to have that stability. So we took the safe side of things, but then we realized that, hey, this is not what we wanted to do for the rest of our life, and it wasn't going against my parents' word, but it was more like, okay, I'm going to do something on the side where I enjoy doing my hobby, my passion, everything like that. And then once your passion starts growing and really outgrowing your full-time or your whatever job, your corporate job, then you're at a crossroads, right? And then you can share like, yo, hey mom, dad, I'm making X amount of money more than your job. It's like, oh really?
I would never say it like that, but
I did. I was like, hey, my side thing's making more money than my full-time thing. It's like, whoa, really? You're making money? It's like, yeah, we're making money from this. It wasn't just about the money, but once again, it's about the security. It's about the security. To give advice to anybody out there, like, pursue your dreams and passion. Keep it under wraps. Keep it quiet.
No, I think that's probably like it's funny how I never put it into words, but that's exactly what it is. It's like, you don't treat it as a side hustle, but you treat it as almost like a passion project on the low that you're going to develop and no one else should know about it because otherwise it's going to distract you. It's going to be a lot of people in your ear saying, this is not going to work, it's not going to work. And it applies to kind of like life in general. If you tell people too much of what you're planning to do, there's a lot of people with bad energy that's going to basically say, I don't want him to make it. I want to be just like me.
Facts, man. It's the crab mentality, Crab mentality. And some of your closest friends and family are just trying to think the best for you, but they're imposing their insecurities, their failures, and they can't think beyond what their scope is like, and they're imposing on you. So it's not like they're trying to drag you down, but they are. They're putting their toxic and negative views on you, and that's what's kind of crazy about nowadays. So how does your parents think about now? I mean, you're full-time in music now. What does your parents think? Do they listen to your music?
Yeah, they do.
Like, they're in the car like,
especially, she got an Alan Z CD. She puts it in the car.
Dude, do they show up to their friends?
They do it all the time.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Embarrassing, man. But no, it's cool because, like, for example, like, I just got a song that I did with Chops from Mountain Brothers.
That's cool.
We put it on.
Shout out to Mountain Brothers, pioneers.
That's one of my main producers.
That's dope,
so we did a song called Watch Your Mouth, and it's on Woo Assassins, the Netflix show.
Yeah,
so
hey, congrats to that, brother. Yeah, Woo Assassins.
My son's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's good though. It makes me feel really good about myself, and to give that to my parents.
That's
to be like,
so dope.
It's like, oh, your son's a doctor. My son's on Netflix.
That's hella clout. Oh man, that's so cool, man. Like, your parents rock you out to your music.
Super supportive, so amazing, man. Like, they'll check up on me and ask about like what I'm doing and stuff like that. And when I tell them good news, they're really, really genuinely happy for it.
That's to tell all you guys out there, man. So if you have a dream, pursue it, build it, but give them something to be.
Give them something tangible.
Give them something tangible, something that you built up, and then once they see that it can be successful, they'll believe into it more. And that's how I start off. Even with Asians Never Die here. We do merch and apparel. Like I hired my dad on board on the side. He was folding clothes and stuff. It's cool, and he totally believes it and supports it now. But I love it. I love it that as the Asian community grows and develops here, we're able to pursue a lot of different routes, and more parents will be accepting of it. Because when I have kids, I will be more accepting of my kids doing the arts or the sports and stuff like that. We got to get some more Jeremy Lins out there. You know what I'm saying? You got to get some more Jeremy Lins and some
all you tall Asians, man. You got to get in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly, man. That's so cool. So as acting wise, there's a lot of crazy thing that's going on right now. With the rise of Crazy Rich Asians, fresh off the boat, with Awkwafina doing some major numbers out there with the Farewell and Ocean's 8 and stuff like that. Now Asians are now penetrating more of the music. It's getting more mainstream. Hollywood, we're getting a little more mainstream. What is your feelings on that right now?
I'm super happy, especially because I'm taking acting more seriously than I ever have before. And I see a vision now, because before it's like my tunnel vision for music was so like just narrow, and I felt like, oh man, I gotta be like the Eminem of the Asian community. But it's like now it's an open field, because once Awkwafina did what she did, I was like, okay, there's a lane that we should be tapping into as creators. It's like film is worldwide. Music is, you can reach certain people, but
it's a smaller bucket,
way
right?
smaller.
But mainstream, like movies wise, you can reach around the world. And she, I was listening to Awkwafina when she was like the Yellow Power Ranger, My Badge, all these dope ass songs, and then she was on Crazy Rich Asians. She blew up from there, and then she went on Ocean's 8, and then the Farewell, and all these different lanes.
And I feel like it's such a bigger like representation, because it's like, what, music is audio based, right? Film, the world is so visual. If they see an Asian person being cool and doing their thing, they're gonna want to relate to that person more,
facts.
Because sometimes you don't even know what race the artist is. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But with this, you can't hide who you are. If they're willing to put Asian faces on mainstream movies, we won. Always Be My Maybe, Crazy Rich Asians, we're doing numbers, and so now they're looking at us like the new wave. And me as an artist and actor, I think it's just a good opportunity for me, and also like it's a chance for me to explore my passions, because like I did acting in college, and I've always wanted to do it, but I always felt like, well, I want to do acting maybe like after I make it as a rapper, singer, or whatever. But I'm like, why not just do it? And then I started doing auditions, and directors would give me like really good notes, and I'm like, am I really good? Because like I'm just like, really what's a side hustle?
I don't see the likes.
Right? So I'm actually doing a few projects, and the one I can't talk about, I'm doing a full-length movie called Repulse.
Repulse. Okay.
Yeah, Repulse.
Repulse. Like, and, is it horror or is it?
Yeah, it's a crime thriller.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So are you the main lead?
I am the main lead's boyfriend. So it's about a woman.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's about a woman who is looking for her sister who goes missing, and she suspects that she's in the sex trafficking world. And so I played that woman's love interest.
Wow, that's cool, man. So I mean, is the main lead is she Asian?
I'm like the only non-white person.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. That was what I was gonna lead into right now, because there are Asians in film and movies, but a lot of times it was always a sidekick, I mean, Bruce Lee, when he started developing films, he was Kato. You know what I'm saying? In the Green Hornet, he was a sidekick. He is the main lead.
Kick Green Hornet's ass.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to get into now is like to understand like Asian. I mean, there's a lot of female actors. Props to that. Major props to that. But I feel that as a Asian male lead in a non-kung fu martial arts movie, that's still kind of lacking in that world. I mean, you got Harold Kumar, which is cool. John Cho. You got all these guys. But it's still like as far as a love interest, like kissing on scene, an Asian dude kissing on scene,
woman, right.
Even a non-Asian woman, even an Asian woman, right? I mean, they didn't even show that.
Jet Li, and
Aaliyah. They cut that scene. What's up, man? Jet Li, come on, bro.
That's racism. It's super racist. Yeah,
it's crazy. So I feel it's definitely more accepted now. But it's cool that you're the main lead's love interest, and she's a non-Asian girl. And I mean, I don't know if you guys expose it. Is there any love interest scene in there?
I don't want to give the.
Okay, you don't want to give it away.
But yeah. I mean,
we gotta watch it.
If it's a sex trafficking film, there's gotta be a little sex.
But
it's not. I'm not saying I'm doing it. But
whoa, plot twist! Plot twist!
No, my mom's watching. I'm not saying
plot twist. Asian triad dude kidnapped white non-white.
But no, it's cool because the role itself was not meant for an Asian guy. I just saw it and I was like, it pays daily. I like the director. He's cool. So I was like, let me just give it a shot. If he doesn't like me, whatever. And then he ended up really liking me. And he introduced me to the cast. And he's like, this guy's a total package. You guys got to check him out. And he's like, he showed them a clip of my music. And I was like, he's not just an actor. He's really talented. So I felt the love. It was cool.
I mean, just seeing more Asian leads in general, male or female, it's cool that they can, not box us in just like the nerds or the kung fu guy or the triads or the Asian character that never dies, that keeps coming back, So it's kind of cool that, we can be like, and show affection on camera. And I think that's what's lacking a lot about Hollywood is like Asians females, a lot of times it shows them as just like the damsel in distress and like, but no, there's a lot of dope Asian females that should be led as like strong. Mulan's coming out, which is so dope. Like I'm excited about that. Same too. Here. Where do you feel, this is gonna be going, like let's say 5 years from now, it's 2019, 5 years from now, how is it gonna be like for Asians in Hollywood, Asians in music, Asians in sports and anything like that?
I think we're at a point right now, it's kind of like sensationalized. So if you notice, it's like a lot of just like heavy marketing on just Asianness. Let's say like Farewell, it's about a Chinese grandma. The Crazy Rich Asians, obviously about Asians. I think the path we're going on is the normalization of Asians. So it's like, I think I read an article somewhere and it was like, we shouldn't aim towards just Asian roles. It should be just like, we just happen to be Asian and now we're in this film and we're all coexisting. It's not just like Asian film starring Asian director with all this Asianness. It's
just
like,
cut out the Asian and just be you, a three-dimensional character, right?
I feel like that's the direction, and music as well. It's like K-pop has a good it did a good start in terms of introducing that mania to teenage girls, but it's like past that should be like Asian American artists that now have a platform. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we've reached that yet. No, but I think that's the next step. At the
beginning tip of the iceberg right now. There's so much out there that to be explored, and absolutely right. I feel that it's very sensationalized, like Asian stories, which is good because it highlights. We need it, right? But then when there's a lot more, there should be a lot more well-rounded stories, and then putting there should be a role that can be plugged in with an Asian dude or Asian woman, or it can be anybody, right? And it's normalized. I know there's a show that Mike Bo did. You know who Mike Bo is?
Sounds very familiar.
Like he's an Instagrammer, he's an actor, he's on like a lot of shows and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the Asian guy.
The Asian dude,
and he did the it was like hot Asian lead or something?
Yeah, it was a hot Asian lead, and like, when was the last time you ever see a hot Asian jock? Playing that character of a hot Asian...
we're coming to that era though, because Simu Liu.
Yeah, Simu. Oh, heck yeah,
he's gonna be that dude. Like because he's the main guy in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, yeah.
And I think that's a big step because I looked on Twitter and it was trending worldwide, not just within the Asian community, but everyone was like, yo, there's an Asian dude on Marvel.
Yeah. And I think now that, as Asians, are growing up and just assimilating, but not losing their heritage or richer culture, but like just having an understanding that there's more routes out there, the talent pool of people will be bigger.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was what's lacking is because our parents never encouraged us to pursue fashion, art, stuff like that. Now, as our generation goes, they're seeing there's a pathway. They're seeing that this can be more stable. They're seeing that there is people that made it. It's safer to jump in the pool now that somebody has made it.
Yeah, because we got rid of the sharks.
Yep.
Now it's a safe zone.
I like that, man. Got rid of the sharks. So we ate them. That's why.
Shark fin. Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about the Asian community is it can be very polar. Some people can be supportive, but there's a lot of Asian haters out there too. So
like, just look at subtle Asian traits. It's a warfare whenever it's like any racial. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the Asians that are very, very conscious and aware, and then you got the Asians that just want to be accepted by the white people, and then so they'll make fun of Asians. Yeah. It's like that in any aspect of the Asian community. So
no, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, there's talent and there's artists out there, regardless of race or color. Like they should get support. And all I'm saying is that as Asians are making a bigger impact in the West, like there's much more that we can do, and it comes from our community supporting each other.
Right.
So that's so dope. I mean, thank you so much for your time, but I know that there's a lot of projects and a lot of things that you're working on right now. Yeah. So I mean, let us know what are some of the things that we should look out for besides the Repost movie. Right. Any EPs or any music dropping now?
Yeah. I got I'm actually working on my next project, an EP.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about it. It's dropping hopefully like next year. That's what I'm aiming for. But in the meantime, I got a bunch of singles that I'm working on.
Nice.
Me and Chow Mein just did our second song together.
Dope, man. What is it called?
Don't Sleep.
Don't Sleep. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
I think
then,
your guys' voices match really well
you.
together,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think your styles like complements each other.
Yeah,
So-
and I got a song upcoming with King Los. He used to be signed with Diddy, like he was on Bad Boy. So
Oh,
it's a song
okay.
called Prove You Wrong.
Nice.
That's coming out soon, and I just got a bunch of singles and a bunch of skits on the way as well, and just pretty much pushing it forward, you know.
That's
Yeah.
so dope, man. You know, what would you say would be your end goal? Like, I mean, you're acting, you're singing, you're rapping, you're doing all this media. Like, what would you say success is for you?
I kind of see myself like an Asian Donald Glover, so I kind of see like the lane for me being just entertainment in general. So it's like, if I can succeed at one of them, everything else follows. So if I make it as a music artist, cool, then I'll transition to Hollywood.
Yeah.
If I make it in Hollywood first, my music is still gonna be made because now I have a way bigger audience to listen to me. So my end goal is really just to get on the mainstream platform. And sustain that and have that platform so I can use it to spread awareness. So if like some shit goes down and people make fun of Asians, I can be in the forefront. It's like, shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, watch your mouth. We're gonna
Yes,
get you.
sir.
You know what I mean? Because we need more of that.
Yeah,
There's
I
too
get
many
it.
people that kind of stay quiet when stuff goes. You know, like China Mac does a really good job of checking people.
Yeah.
We need more China Macs.
Oh, when he check Lil Pump.
That's what I'm saying. We need more of that so that people won't be as open to, you know, to just being ignorant towards us.
For sure,
you know?
man.
So.
There needs to be a lot of strong characters out there.
Yeah.
And Alan Z, I mean, dude, you are doing your part, you know, to put, you know, more content, more dope stuff in the Asian community. You know, check out his music, guys. Like, I just listened to some of it earlier. You know, some of the songs you just want to ride and cruise and like, you know, just like beat people up. And some of the songs you just want to chill, you know, and just like,
Get
you
with
know,
a chick, you know,
get with the
just-
chick,
yeah.
you know, Netflix and Korean drama. Or something,
Korean
you know what I'm
drama.
saying? So you can find them on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, all underneath Alan Z.
So on social media like Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything is Alan Z Music. So it's
Cool.
ALANZ Music. But on Spotify and Apple Music, you can just type in Alan Z.
Yeah.
First name ALAN and then last.
Not
initial.
Switch, okay?
Yeah. Oh man, I know what you're bringing back, but yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. If you guys like content like this, guys, where we're, you know, eating some awesome food, we're talking about, you know, Asian culture and identity, and especially with dope artists like Alan Z. Subscribe to our channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the episode of Snack and Smack, and catch us on the next one. Peace.
Super Saiyans and layman's, I run shit like the Godfather out in Reno. Turn to Al Pacino if you not Hispanic, but call Alan Chino. Finding someone better, it ain't likely. Kids wanted to be like Mike, I wanted to be like Lee. Which one? Choose one, anyone. Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Sway Lee, Deadly, Spike Lee. Whoa, you see the baby face, subtle Asian traits. I don't pay for playing, you couldn't pay me to play it safe.